Hi everyone, my name is Mike Ivancy. I'm a California licensed attorney and I practice employment law. Specifically, my specialty is federal employment law. Right now you're looking at my website and that's my contact information, 619-929-0451 or consults at ivancylaw.com. I'm going to show you my bio so you know who you're talking with. That's me right there. Formerly I was an agency attorney where I worked to defend employment cases on behalf of the agency. So I would go against federal employees and try and get them removed or sustain their suspensions. Today, what I'm going to be talking about is how to file an appeal with the MSPB. So the MSPB the acronym stands for Merit Systems Protection Board. And really, the MSPB is there and it was created to ensure that federal employees are treated consistently across the federal government. So that means they didn't want certain agencies to be harsher for certain misconduct than other agencies are. So basically it keeps consistency across the federal government and ensures these merit principles are enforced. So typically, if you need to file an appeal with the MSPB, the most classic case I'm going to talk about is uh, incident of employee discipline. So this means you've been subject to suspension or removal. In that case, I recommend you look at my Federal Employees Guide to Discipline Cases in the MSPB on my website, or check out the Douglas Factors Guide. Um, these two guides provide pretty much everything you need to know about discipline, the investigation process, when you'll get a proposal letter, an oral reply. And I think the Douglas factors are one of those things that are really underrated as far as employees leveraging them to help them win a federal discipline case. So go ahead and look at my website, www.ivancylaw.com, to see more about the Douglas factors and the MSPB. But back to what we're talking about today, which is how do I file my appeal after I've been served with a decision letter, issuing me discipline, say a suspension of 14 days or more, or a removal. Well, the way you do that is you go to the MSPB website, it's mspb.gov, and you can click the File Appeal button. Now, the MSPB actually is really tech savvy, and they're really good about giving you the option of filing online. So if you wanted to do that, you would just go to this eappeal.mspb.gov website and you would click New Appeal, and you would hit Continue from here, and you could do it all electronically. But today I'm going to go through the kind of classic form here, the PDF online. It's MSPB Form 185. As you'll see, it kind of gives you some guidance about the law. To start with, probably the most important thing is that you have 30 days after the effective date of your discipline to initiate your appeal or file it with the MSPB. It's essential that you do not miss this date. Whether you're filing it or your attorney, you need to file it within 30 days of the effective date. Really, there's not a lot of wiggle room there, so make sure you meet that deadline. You can either file it online, like I said, or you can fax it to the MSPB. So I'm going to go through this fairly quickly, but you fill in your basic information here, your name, contact information, telephone, and email, because like I said before, MSPB is pretty big on electronic filing. If you give them your email, you can receive all the documents that are filed through that email address. Then you put the agency information, the agency you work for or you've been suspended from, and then the type of employment, whether you're permanent, seasonal, temporary, and the type of appointment, whether you're competitive service, accepted, SES, etc. Down here, box 7, you do your occupational series like GS 13, step 10, FBI agent or whatever, and your field office. Length of service, this is your enter-on date to removal or just your enter-on date to current if you haven't been removed. You should be able to find this in your SF50 if you don't remember your enter-on date. This is an important box here. If you're a probationary employee, your rights are drastically limited, so it's important that you indicate whether or not you are a probationary employee. Box 11 is probably the most significant and important box in this form, and that's, do you want a hearing, or are you willing to have the administrative judge make a decision on the basis of submissions only? If you were my client and I was completing this for you, I'd definitely recommend that you request a hearing. So I would check yes on that box. So this part 2 down here talks about the type of action you're appealing. So a removal, that's a classic termination from service. You would click that. This is termination if you're a probationary employee. And then again, there's the classic suspension of 14 days or more. Indicate when you receive that. And then in this box, you can explain kind of the circumstances. This would be an opportunity for you to indicate if you thought the action was based in part based on some sort of discriminatory animus. So you would also have an EEOC claim, discrimination claim, and that would create what is called a mixed case at the MSPB. So down here, this talks about, have you worked with the union at all regarding this appeal? This is related to an IRA appeal, independent right of action, which is typically a whistleblower type of appeal through the Office of Special Counsel. Down here you have USERRA and VOA appeals. Again, these are not your classic discipline ones, so I'm not really going to talk about them. OPM retirement. But down here, part 4, this part is important. This is the section I would be completing for my clients, where I indicate that I'm their representative and I provide my contact information and my email address so I can do that e-filing that I talked about before. And then finally down here, this is where you, who now would be considered the appellant once you file this appeal, would sign and date this appeal form. That's pretty much the basics. Down here, the last page of the appeal form, you'll see that the MSPB has regional offices throughout. I'm located in San Diego, so the Western Regional Office is what governs my section. They cover Alaska, California, Hawaii, Idaho, Nevada, Oregon, Washington, and Pacific overseas. So if I'm filing for an employee that's located in San Diego, I'd file with the Western Regional Office. And if you're doing it the old form way, instead of filing online, you can complete that form I just showed you and fax it to 415-904-0580. So those are pretty much the basics of how to file an appeal. Definitely the few important things are make sure you get in with that 30-day deadline and attach relevant information. Your proposal letter needs to be attached to this, and I mean your decision letter as well. And make sure you complete all your information correctly. If you have any additional questions, feel free to read my employment law guides to the MSPB or the Douglas factors. And you can call me. I provide free consultations to all potential clients. My direct line is 619-929-0451, or you can email me at consults@ivancielaw.com. That's IVANCIELAW.com. Thank you, and I hope you found this helpful. Have a great day.